Hello students, today our topic is Python Pandas, and in this lecture we are going to discuss some question answer related to Python Pandas. We already discussed all the topics related to Python Pandas in our previous lectures, and in this lecture our main focus is to discuss about the main question answer which may be asked in your examination. So the type of the questions which may be asked in the examination we will discuss in this lecture. Let's start. So let's start. This is question number one on a screen. Consider the following code to create two data frames with similar values. What will be printed by the code given below? Justify your answer. Okay, there is a spelling mistake. Similar is there. First of all, so this is a code here, as you can see on the screen. First of all, import pandas as PD, which is a required statement. Because first of all, if you want to use pandas as a library, then we should import pandas as a library using import keyword. Import pandas as PD. PD is the alternative name given to the pandas library. So wherever we want to use the pandas as a library, we just write PD in place of pandas, and then after put dot operator and then name of the method. Okay. So df1 is the first data frame. So to create first data frame, you just write PD dot name of the method. Name of the method to create data frame is data frame, and we pass as a parameter value just a list. You can easily see that 1 2 3. Next, second is again PD dot data frame 1 2 3 is there. Okay, then print df statement is there. Print df one statement there. Print df2 statement there. Print df2 statement there. It means df statement will be printed 2 times, and df2 statement will also be printed 2 times. Now let us see the output. Now I think you all of you are aware that what is the output. This is df1 and this is df2. Why it is so? This is because df1 is here contain only 3 elements 1 2 3. Okay, and df2 is also there. So print df1. First of all, df1 will be printed, and these are the index value. This is the name of the column, and these are the different values related to this. Okay, so that is the answer of the first question. Consider the following code to create two data frames with similar values. So both data frames have similar value 1 2 3. What will be printed by the code given below? Justify your answer. So you can easily see that in case of second data frame, there is a list inside a list. You can easily see that. In first case, you can easily see that there is a single list only, which is passed as a parameter value within data frame or right within data frame. So the difference between these two is, first of all, this first will print as a single value as a series, and second will print you a data frame. So that is the difference between these two. First will print you a series, data frame will be printed as a series, or we can say that single dimensional data frame is there, and in second case multi-dimensional data frame is there, and you can easily see that these are the name of the columns and these are the name of the rows. Different rows are here. So that is the difference between these two. Okay, two print statement are also there, df1 and df2. So df1 and df2 are also there, and then there is a print statement regarding to the df. So first data frame will be printed, which is a single dimensional, or we can say that which is a series, and second data frame is a data frame contain 3 different columns. So here these 3 elements are printed as a column. You can easily see that. You can easily see here. So that is the output. That is the output, and here we have to give a justification for our answer. So first data frame df1 is created with one dimensional list, hence all its values are taken as new rows for data frame df1 and only one column is created. Okay, and data frame d2 is created with two dimensional list. Two dimensional list is there because there is a nested list here. Inner list contain value 1 2 3. Since inner list forms the column value, the three columns are formed from the three values of the inner list. There is just one inner list, hence one row only. So that is the reason behind this. In case first there is only one column, in case of second there is three columns here. So that is the reason. So it is a very important point. When you just part single list, then it will work as a series in data frame, and where there is a nested list or you can pass a list under a list, then these are the different columns values of a list. So these are the two different types of representation here. Okay, and one thing also remember that there are two printed df statement is there. In case of first, it is marked in a double quotes, so it is a string, so it will print as it is as on screen, but in second case it will print to you a value. Similarly for last two statement also, this will print as it is df2, and this will print the data frame value regarding to df2. Now you can see the output. df1 is there, df2 is there, first data frame is there, and this is second data frame is here. So that is the output regarding to that. Now I think it is very clear to all of you. As far as justification is concerned, justification is already given here, and first data frame is created with one dimensional list. So when you put a one dimensional list, so all of the value are considered taken as a new row for the data frame df1, and on one column is created. So most important thing is that when you put just a data frame using a one dimensional list, then only one column is created, and when you put a two dimensional list, then multi-dimensional there are more than one dimension, or we can say that more than one column are created in that case. So that is the reason behind that. So question contain basically three part. First of all, same values are here, but first value is given in a single list, or second value marked within a double list here, or we can say that nested list is here. So when we put a nested list, then all values are a part of different columns, and when there is a single list, then there is only a single row here. There is no single column here. Okay, so that is the. Now second question is, it is related to LOC and ILOC. These are the two important attributes. So give a data frame, namely data as shown in figure, fruits names and the row labels. So row labels contain different fruits names, as you can see in the screen. Apple, pear, lime. These are the fruit names. Write code statement to find the rows with label apples. Extract all columns. So you should extract all columns in case of first. And B, list only the columns, count and price using LOC. And third, list only rows with label apple and pears using LOC. So LOC is important. There are two important property, LOC and LOCI. Okay, if you want to use just LOC, then you can access the data of a data frame row wise and column wise both, but in case of LOCI, you can use only index wise. It means only row wise here. So that is the basic difference between LOC and LOCI. So let us see the output again. So first of all, first value should be given as a row value, and second value given as a column value, and both of them can be separated by a colon sign, and all rows and columns value are separated by comma sign here. So here name of the data frame is data here. So first of all, just write a data here. Okay, wait a minute. So data is the name of the data frame here. Then LOC, if you want to apply LOC is here, so you can just write data.loc, and within the square bracket, always remember that within the square bracket, first of all rows are mentioned, and after that colon sign, and after that you can mention your column names. And all rows and columns in are separated by a comma here. So find all rows with labels apple and extract all columns. So all columns are extracted here. So we just give colon sign. No value should be, no value is mentioned here because here we have to mention all, we have to extract all columns. So no specific column is to be extracted here. So that's why after colon sign no column name is mentioned, but we have to extract only one row, that is apple, that is given in this case. You can easily see that. So apple is here, so we just write data dot loc, then apple, it is a string, that's why we just write it in a single quote here, and then after colon sign and no value is given just after that. It means all columns values are extracted here. Okay, now case number 2. Okay, case number 2, let us see what is the case number 2. List only the columns count and price using only LOC. Now these are the column and count. See here, this is the data frame. Column and count are the two data frame names, and price is also a data frame. So list only the column count and price. Count and price, those color is not used actually. So in this case only two columns in count and price are used, and we have to use LOC method here. So no row name is mentioned, so we just write data dot loc, and then just after colon sign and put comma sign. After that we give different columns name within square bracket. Two different columns name are here, count and price. So we just name them, count and price are here. So actually it extract all rows, but only two columns which are count and price here. Okay, now case number 3. First, only rows with labels apples and pear using LOC. So only two rows are there, apple and pear, and no column name are mentioned here, so don't need to mention any column name. And first of all, since rows appear in the syntax, so only you just give the column name of the rows, and no need to mention column because all columns are extracted here. So this is the output related to the third query. List only rows with labels apple and pear using LOC. So using LOC you can find the data according to row wise or column wise. First of all, row should be mentioned, after that columns, put here column sign, and after that column should be mentioned. And if there are more than one rows, then give these values within a square bracket. And same case for column also, if there are more than one columns, then put these all the columns names within a square bracket, and separated and always separate the value by a comma sign here. And if the name of the columns are string, then this should be mentioned within a single quote or double quote mark. Okay, now this is the output, you can easily see here. Pandas data frame LOC attribute access a group of rows. So it is an attribute. First of all, access a group of rows and columns by labels or booleans array in the given data frame. So syntax is very simple. First of all, you have to just write the data frame and then put dot operator and then after LOC. Okay, LOC is the name of the attribute. So nothing will be passed, so it contains no parameter, it contains zero parameter, or we can say that no parameter value is passed, and it returns a scalar value, a series, or data frame. So it can return all of the three types of the data. It means in the terms of value, in the terms of series, answer will be written in terms of the series or in terms of the data frame. And it is an attribute. Okay, and LOC is an attribute which accesses a group of rows and columns by labels. LOC means location. LOC is used for location. Now this is example number 1. Use dataframe.loc attribute to access a particular cell in a given data frame using the index and column labels. So here there is a small example. Import pandas as PD it is an important line. So here we import pandas as library here and give its alternative name PD. So whenever we want to use pandas as a library, just write PD in place of pandas and then put dot operator and then after give the method name. So there is a data frame, and this data frame they basically created using a dictionary here. So now the column names are weight, name and age, and values corresponding to list are basically values related to weight, name and age. So weight, name and age, these are the keys of a dictionary, and when we just pass a dictionary into a data frame, then these play as a role of column here, and these are the value of that column related to that column. These are the values related to the weight, these are the name, and these are the age. Now you can also change the name of the index. By default index values also start with 0, but here you can easily see that we give different index values: row underscore 1, row underscore 2, row underscore 3, row underscore 4, row underscore 5. And if you want to set this index, then just write df.index is equal to index underscore. So these values are assigned as an index value. Now if you want to just print the data frame, and that is the output, you can easily see that these are the index values, these are the name of the columns, and these are the values related to this column. Now one thing should be remembered, that when you just make a data frame using a dictionary, then order doesn't matter. In this case you can easily see that weight, name and age are the 3 columns name, but here the sequence is little bit different, because age comes first and then after name and weight. And it may be possible when you execute this program, then order is different as shown on screen, because we know that dictionary is unordered data type, so order doesn't matter for that, because key is associated for each value. So we can access a data element according to the key values. So that's why these columns name can be represented in any manner. Okay, and if no value is found regarding to any cell, then NaN will be appear here. In this case it is not so, but always remember that NaN represent not a number. Okay, so if no value is found out, then in case of NaN will be appear here. So this is a simple program here. Just we create this simple data frame here. Now we will use data frame.loc attribute. Now it's time to use the .loc attribute to return the value present in the name column corresponding to the row underscore 2 label. So if you want to use this, so return the value, just write result, then name of the data frame, and then just after give the LOC and name of the attribute. And here you can easily see that we just put first of all row, and always remember that first of all put a name of the row, and then after comma sign, and then after column name. Okay, so here we just want to put a particular value. It means value at that location row 2 and only for column name. So only one value is selected because these row and column intersect at one point, and at that point whatever the value is found, that is our output. And in case you can easily see that row 2 is here, okay, and name is here, and you can easily see that both are intersect at Andrea. So Andrea will be your answer. So in this case where you just give first value as a row and second value after comma sign as a column value, then the where these row and columns are intersect, this cell value will give you your answer, will be your answer. As in case our answer is Andrea. So as we can see in the output, the dataframe.loc attribute has successfully returned the value present at the desired location in the given data frame. So here you can easily see the output here. Okay, now this is example number 2. Use dataframe.loc attribute to return 2 of the columns of the given data frame. So here if you want to return 2 of the columns of the data frame, then this is shown by this example here. So first of all, as usual, import pandas as PD. After that, creation of a data frame. Name of the data frame is df here. PD is the name of the data frame. PD is the name of the pandas library, alternative name of the pandas library. Then data frame is the method name. And here again data frame can be here data frame is created using a dictionary here, in which A, B, C, D are the name of the columns, and values are given also here in the forms of list corresponding to that columns. So create the index. If you want to create an index, then for that purpose just take a variable index underscore and then give the name of the index in the form of list, so you can find out the name of the index. And if you want to set the index values, then for that purpose just write the name of the data frame first, and after that put dot operator and then index attribute is there, and after that's give after the equal sign give the name of the variable which you want to set as an attribute, which you want to set as an index values. So index underscore contain all different index values, so index underscore is there, and then print just after the printdf statement is there. So you can easily see here. Now in this case we can easily see that any and are here because not in number, because for this some values are not available. You can easily see that none are there, or none are there, so that's why NaN will appear here. Okay, 3 NaN none are there in a declaration of a data frame, so NaN repeated 3 times here. Rest these are the name of the rows underscore 1, rows underscore 2, rows underscore 3, rows underscore 4, rows underscore 5, and these are the name of the columns A, B, C and D, and this is the data frame name as we see here. Okay, wait a minute, df, so print df, so that is a data frame df is here. Okay, now we will use the data frame .loc attribute to return the values. So if you want to just return the values related to 2 columns, so just write result df is the name of the column, name of the data frame here, and put dot operator, and after that just write loc, and then just after put a colon sign, and then you can easily see that comma sign is there, and these are the name of the columns. Always remember that values related to rows are declared first, and then after just you can give different columns names. And here 2 columns name are given, that's why they are marked within a square bracket just after a colon sign, and A and D are the name of the columns. So here you can see the output when you print this, just the statement print result, then A and D is the output here. So these are the values related to different columns here, and these are the different rows underscore 1, rows underscore 2, rows underscore 3, rows underscore 4, rows underscore 5. So these are the values. So finally you can easily see that. Let us check the question first. Use data frame.loc attribute to return 2 of the columns of the given data frame. So data frame contain basically 4 columns A, B, C and D, and here just this is the original data frame, and using a column attribute, using loc attribute, here we can access 2 different column name here A and D using loc attribute. So using loc attribute you can find easily A and data along column A and D. Now here row underscore 1, row underscore 2, row underscore 3, row underscore 4 and row underscore 5 are the index values which were declared here. In this case you can easily see that row under df underscore df dot index is equal to index underscore. So these are the index value which we give. If we don't give this index value, then by default it start from 0, then 1, 2, 3 and 4 values are represented here. So these are the index values, these are the name of the columns, and we just use using loc 2 different columns name A and D, and so put just after after that loc could put a square bracket, then after if no row is selected, and then put nothing, then after just colon sign, and then after column, and then name of the column name comma, and then name of the columns here. Name of the columns are A and D, so A and D are there. Always that is the syntax. So different values corresponding to these are printed here. And note down that if the no values find out in this case, then NaN will be there. Okay. Even though we can access the pandas data frame by the normal ways data frame columns dot index. We can have another two ways. Now this is all about, there is a brief discussion about LOC and ILOC. Actually, if we find out if we want to access the data frame, then we can easily particular element by using their index position. Okay, but wait a minute. So you can access different data items using index value, but there are two different ways, LOC and ILOC. Here we use the LOC in two different questions, and it is very important related regarding to your final exam. And definitely there is a question related to LOC and ILOC, and sometimes it is asked that what is the difference between LOC attribute and ILOC attribute. So first of all, the difference between these two is very clear. This LOC attribute basically used to specify using means, this is a label based. Okay, and ILOC is integer index based. So if you want to find out the element using integer index based, then you can use ILOC, and if you want to find out element by label based, then you can easily find out, then you can easily do it by LOC attribute. Now in the previous case, you can easily see that these are the attributes, and these are the label based, no default integer are there. So here we use just LOC, and if there are integer values, then you can find out values corresponding to that using ILOC attribute. So let us take an example here. The difference, let us see the difference between these two. Suppose the name of the data frame is cars, and if you just put dot LOC, then you should give name of the column or rows here. But in case of ILOC, you can give value, index value. Here the 4 is the index values. Okay, so in this case of you can easily see that, and when there are more than one values, then you can separate them using comma sign in case of LOC and in case of ILOC also. And here there is an again example of nested list here, which basically define already discussed in question number 1. What is the use when we define a list, single list, and when we define a nested list here, or list under list. So this is the basic difference between LOC and ILOC. The difference is very simple. LOC is label based and ILOC is index based. So we give a integer based or index based. So we give an integer, always the integer value in term when we just want to use ILOC attribute, and when we just want to use to LOC attribute, then we always declare label of that values. So LOC gets rows or columns with particular labels from the index, and ILOC get rows or columns at particular position in the index. Okay, so particular label and particular position, that is the basic difference. Here you can mark it, here you can easily remember. Particular label based and index based. ILOC is index based. Here I refers for index, so it take only integers, and LOC for location on the basis of labels and location on the basis of index. So that is the difference between LOC and ILOC. So now I think difference is very much clear to all of you. Now let us take one more important point. Here you can easily see that in question number 1, it is very important because it is also used in last question. Here we just give a single list, and here we give just a nested list here. So when we just want to print that, then output will be looks like this. Here there is a single column, and there is a single row. So when you want to print the data items within a single row, then only a single list will be used, and whenever you want to print different data items along multiple columns, then double list sign is used, and it means atoms and elements are defined within a using two different lists. You can easily see that list and the list is there. So in case first there is only single column, in case second there is only single row. For single row you can use a double square bracket, and for a single column you can use single square bracket. So that is the difference. Now I hope the concept is quite clear to all of you. So thanks for watching this video.